Beyond Mortal Boundaries. Chapter 8. The Power to Come and Go as the Wind. As many as are led by the Spirit of Prime Creator, they are the sons and daughters of Prime Creator. Romans 8:14. They are known as gods, with a little g, unto whom the word of Prime Creator comes. When one has rent the veil of unbelief, overcoming the hardness of his heart, and has opened his eyes so that they are no longer half closed in blindness, that he might have eyes to see, then he will be prepared to be taught of Prime Creator and will no longer be just a plodding, grubby mortal with his vision focused only upon the earth and the things and conditions thereof. He will have opened up his soul through faith to the extent that Prime Creator's minute instructions and powerful loving wisdom will direct him in every act of his life, and his life will become powerful. He will begin to do the works that Christ did, and then go on to the greater works. This is the eternal promise of Prime Creator to those who truly believe and know, not just profess to believe. The attaining of this divine contact with Prime Creator contains the power promised, the power to be born of the Spirit, not just in words or in self-righteous phrases or in false acclamations, yet in actual fact. And that one will be able to come and go as the wind, and no one will know from whence he came or whither he goes. This is the power of Christ had and utilized as he disappeared out of the midst of those who sought to lay hold of him upon various occasions, seeking to force their wills upon him. And this is the power he utilized as he walked upon the Sea of Galilee, focusing on the spiritual, you see, instead of Peter, focused on the storm. Focus on spiritual. And he who is thankful in all things shall be made glorious. To be made glorious, one would have developed the song of praising, love, and gratitude until his whole being would have fulfilled all the laws of righteousness. He would have filled the measure of his own spiritual pattern and would be born of the Spirit and receive the almost incomprehensible power thereof. And from there on, his growth would be much more speedy, love speed ahead, and perfect than the slow maturing of an infant born of the flesh. He would be able also to step across ages and eons of plodding as his mind and lips would lose the power to hurt and wound. And so his voice would be heard among the gods because he would be admitted into their presence as a member of their divine progressive glory. Such are the promises. When you cast the darkness from among you, you will be ordained of God and will be sent forth to be the greatest. Notwithstanding, you are the least and the servant of all. And all things will become subject unto you, both in heaven and on earth. The life and the light, the spirit and the power, sent forth by the will of Mother Father, Prime Creator, through Yeshua Christ, their Son, Son, Son. And in the fulfilling of this promise, one is given an assurance of receiving all the powers possible to receive, the very powers of heaven and of earth. Yet because of the gross wickedness of unbelief and the hardness of men's hearts and the blindings of their minds, they have failed utterly to even look at the great and marvelous things that Prime Creator has held waiting since the foundations of the world. And the only reason these mighty things have been hid is because man himself has been too fearful and too unbelieving to even look. Yet the promise is that when man would rend the veil of unbelief, which has caused him to remain in his awful state of wickedness. Then the great powers of these promises will be made manifest in the lives of the children. Yes, the nearer man approaches perfection through his own overcoming. No one can do this except you. You have to overcome yourself. The clearer are his views and the greater are his enjoyments, till he overcomes the evils of his life, the temptations, the vicissitudes, the darkness, the fears, and even the calamities, misfortunes, and dismays, and loses every desire for sin. And like the ancients, he will arrive at the point of faith, where he will be wrapped in the power and glory of his Maker, and will be caught up to dwell with Prime Creator. Just words, you ask? Oh no, promises. Promises so great they have blinded men with their glory, insomuch that they have been enfolded in the dark veil of unbelief and held there for centuries. And because of the blindness of men's eyes and the hardness of their hearts, these dynamic blessings have remained unfulfilled. Prime Creator has left the following divine invitations, awaiting man's acceptance of them. Seek me diligently, and you shall find me. Seek me early, and you shall find me. We are children of the light. That's right. There are over 60 references in the Holy Scriptures that hold forth that everlasting promise that they might know God. K-N-O-W. Know Prime Creator. This does not mean just to know about Prime Creator. It means to know Prime Creator. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true and living Prime Creator, and Yeshua Christ, whom thou hast sent. Then there is the promise that he who would pray continually without ceasing, yea, unto such it shall be given to know the mysteries of Prime Creator. Yea, unto such it shall be given to reveal things that never have been revealed, and they shall comprehend all things. Live life a living prayer. Pray without ceasing. Almost the same exact promise is given in these words. And if your eyes be single to my glory, your whole body shall be filled with light, and there shall be no darkness in you. And that body that is filled with light shall comprehend all things. And I will unveil my face unto him, which fulfilled. Cancel clear, which? Fulfilled is life eternal. With these dynamic, glorious promises waiting down the centuries for fulfillment, how is it possible that man could have been so blind he could not see them? How could his heart have been so hard he could not test them or even accept them? By his own unbelief, man has woven that dark, dismal, unholy veil of evil and doubt and gross unbelief that has caused him to remain in his awful state of wickedness and darkness and despair. There is none of these promises recorded here, or the many that have not been included, that if accepted and lived, will not prepare one to receive that glorious birth of the Spirit, that all churches claim and none have received. Native American church have received, though. So remember, this book was written in 1969, I feel. With that birth of the Spirit, one's entire being becomes so filled with the Spirit of the Almighty. It is thereafter a permanent factor in his life. This being born of the Spirit, this being born of the Spirit is not just a fragmentary or temporary experience to be recalled in memory or spoken words for the remainder of one's life. This retelling is carrying one's stairway with him. This is not the birth of the Spirit. The birth of the Spirit is a gift and contains even more than the ability to be able to come and go as the wind, and no one will know from whence she came or whither she goes. The bestowal of this power is very great indeed, for if one is born of the Spirit, he will also receive the gift of translation. Being born of the Spirit is the power of translation. They are one and the same, and this power contains the understanding, understanding, overstanding, and ability to serve to one's fullest capacity of love, wheresoever he may be directed by Prime Creator. Such will become a servant in the hands of Prime Creator in every deed, and he will be able to go forth and do the works that Christ did instead of just talking about them. He and she will also have the power to go on and do the greater works that Christ promised. He and she will do greater works than these because I go unto my mother, Father. It was necessary for Christ to go unto mother, Father, that his greater assignment to contact and send out his power and blessings and enlightenment to all who would only ask or seek for his help might become a fact. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the ends of the world. As an individual is born of the Spirit or receives of the power of translation, the privilege, if so be their desires, she and he desires, will be granted to continue to serve right here on this earth, where the opportunity to do all the works that Christ did while here on earth, and the greater works will become his privilege to accomplish and fulfill. Those of great faith and great love will be permitted to remain on this earthly plane, though they will no longer be of it. They will be able to step to and fro, yet their services will be to help suffering mankind. These overcoming ones are only required to go to Mother Father, that they might receive their most holy ordination to be sent forth, for they will be ordained of Prime Creator and sent forth to become the greatest. Notwithstanding, they are the least, and become the servant of all. These will have the power, as they are born of the Spirit and are ordained of Prime Creator, to be able to come and go as the wind, and no one will know from what assignment they came or to what assignment they will go. Oh. Such is in the plan of Prime Creator. Such has been in the plan even from the beginning of time. These are the great and marvelous things that have been hid up from the foundations of the world because of the hardness of the hearts of the children of men, and the blindness of their eyes, and because of the gross wickedness of unbelief. Accept any one of the great promises of Almighty Prime Creator, or all of them, and live by them, and you will know of their power. For the power they contain will become your own, for you will be born of the Spirit, or become a translated being with a higher calling placed upon you as you go forth in the joy and the power of eternal glory to serve. In closing, I shall quote only a fraction of the promises contained in the Holy Scriptures regarding the power to overcome death. The power to overcome death. Reheart that death is the last enemy to overcome. It can be overcome in this lifetime if you so choose to take accountability for your health, your physical body, emotional body, mental body, and spiritual bodies. Remember, reheart, the wages of sin is death, and the gift of Prime Creator is life eternal. Then glance for a moment into the record of the lost books of the Bible to Nicodemus, chapter 18, verse 12, that states, "O Satan, prince of all evil, author of death, and source of all pride," etc. Prime Creator did not ordain death. Prime Creator permitted it. Satan ordained and has manipulated it from the beginning. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof is no death. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 28. The law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. Proverbs 14:27. Again, the law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 27. Verily, 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 I say unto you, there be some standing here that shall not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Matthew chapter 16, verse 28. Mark chapter 9, verse 1. Luke chapter 9, verse 27. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me, him and her, you see. Prime Creator is an energy. There is no gender, but for this, we'll call it a game that we're in. The game is over. Yet the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Okay. I got a little sidetracked. So verily, 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 I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on Prime Creator that sent me, hath everlasting life and shall not come into condemnation, yet is passed from death into life. John chapter 5, verse 24. This hearing of Prime Creator's word is the opening up of one's heart so that one may be taught of Prime Creator in every emergency as God directs that individual personally in the pathway of his and her own overcoming and calling. We all must overcome, and we all have a calling. Those who have not yet learned to be taught of Prime Creator are frequently jumping off the deep end into the mysteries that have not become completely open to their understandings by Prime Creator's personal instruction. They begin to focus their attention upon the great possibility of translation without understanding in the least the cleansing of themselves that they might attain unto the promise to be born of the Spirit. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. Time for a parasite cleanse. Time for a colon cleanse. Time to cleanse those PEMs. Physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body. Translation, well, that rehearts me. Dross does not translate, henceforth the reason to cleanse. Translation is not the fullness of the resurrected state. Translation is that Christ received upon the Mount of Transfiguration. It is not the resurrected state, yet it holds all the powers of being born of the Spirit. After the experience on the Mount of Transfiguration, Christ had the power to disappear or appear upon occasion, and the power that no one could take his life from him. He could relinquish it, and he later did willingly, yet no one could take it from him. He could lay his own life down, and he could take it up again according to his word. Yet when Christ came forth from the tomb, he had received the full powers and the glory of the resurrection. To those who have overcome their impatience, their impurities, and their every desire and inclination for sin and selfishness and self-acclaim, the gift of translation will be granted, and they will be able to come and go as the wind, and no one will know from whence they came or whither they have gone. And when they have finished their ministry upon this earth or at the coming of Yeshua Christ in his glory, they will be changed in the twinkling of an eye, twinkling of an eye, twinkling of an eye, from mortality into immortality. The translated ones are not subject to death or to aging or to suffering, and can come and go as the wind to whatsoever assignment may be theirs at the moment. And they bring their bodies with them, though they can become invisible to those who are upon a lower vibration or plane. During the millennium, all will be taught these higher laws, for they are the laws of the millennium, the golden age. And there will be no more death, for death is the last enemy to be overcome in every individual's life. The admonition is not to worry about the dynamic power of translation or to be impatient concerning your receiving it. Be only concerned about the condition of your own heart and the power of its releasing love. Be only concerned about the condition of your own heart and the power of its releasing love. Love alone is the key. Love alone is the key. Therefore, the admonition is to be watchful of your thoughts and the caliber of the vibrations that you release. Cleanse yourself of all darkness and of the evils of negative, hateful, fearful, lustful, or jealous thoughts, and the memory of those negative conditions that you have harbored unwittingly in the temple of your soul. Forgive yourself for not knowing better. Once you know better, you do better. And again, the promise is, if you will chase darkness from among you, you will be ordained of Prime Creator and sent forth to become the greatest. Notwithstanding, you are the least, and the humble, loving servant of all. Prime Creator's word cannot return unto Prime Creator void or unfulfilled. This is the law of eternity. It cannot be changed, for it is irrevocable. It cannot possibly be revoked, not even by Prime Creator, because Prime Creator established it at the dawn of creation. And Prime Creator's word is Prime Creator's promises to every man, woman, and child. And it is man, as he opens his eyes and his heart to believe and know, who has the power to return these promises to Prime Creator for fulfillment. This is the plan and the pattern and the glory as man steps forth to fulfill his part in the divine system of glorious accomplishment. It is only man who can return Prime Creator's promises to Prime Creator. And when man holds those promises forth, Prime Creator must fulfill them. This too is Prime Creator's promise. Take any one or bring upon yourself any one of Prime Creator's most holy promises, or all of them, and hold them upon the altar of your own soul, that sacred holy of holies, the secret place of the Most High, your very own heart center, Anahata, and there hold them forth without wavering or without doubting in your heart, and they will have to be fulfilled. The law of the fulfilling of Prime Creator's promises is perfect. It cannot fail. Love endures forever. And nothing in existence can hold back the power of those divine and holy sacred promises except man's desolating unbelief, as he continues to exist in the darkness of his own blindness and in the hardness of his own heart. Steel heart. Angel eyes. Open up. It is impossible to even contact the power of Prime Creator, it is impossible to even contact the power of Prime Creator, let alone return Prime Creator's divine promises to Prime Creator, as long as one's heart remains in that hardened condition of unbelief. And while his eyes refuse to look or his mind to investigate, often that deadly evil of fear, which is the first of the great crimes, holds one's mind in bondage to the past ages of darkness and dead dogmas. Herbert Spencer said this, it's a quote: "There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all argument, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is condemnation before investigation." That principle is condemnation before investigation? Reheart the 4 agreements and don't assume a damn thing, for one. Do your research, okay? As one opens up his eyes to see and his heart to believe and know and his mind to investigate, nothing in existence will remain impossible if he will pray for understanding as he makes his search. This is the law. This is the law of the great unveiling of truth. Rend the veil of unbelief, that the great and marvelous things that have been hid up from the foundation of the world might be confirmed and fulfilled in you. Do not let it matter to you what others have done or have not done, or what they are doing. We don't give a shift what others say about us. We have a direct contract with Prime Creator, so that should be enough. All things are possible to you if you will only believe and know thyself. And Prime Creator be with you in your great unfolding. Prime Creator's angels will attend you as the light of Christ is brought forth in you. And ever as you open up the doors of your own soul to rejoice, those heavenly angels will rejoice with you and will begin to be glorified in light. And as you progress, you will forever glorify the pathway for those who follow, and it will become the great highway of transparent gold. I'll walk the street of gold. And in Prime Creator's words will grow. A wonderful, wonderful day. Prime Creator has paved the way. This will complete The Power to Come and Go as the Wind, Chapter 8, Beyond Mortal Boundaries. I love you all. Peace and aloha. Bama Pi.